Hello and welcome to EcoMinds, capturing the changing dynamics of economics.
I am Pragati Krishnan, and we have with us a very renowned global economist and former deputy chairman of Erstwhile Planning Commission, Dr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia, sir. Very good afternoon, sir, and I welcome you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for speaking to me.
Thank you so much, sir. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, sir. So my question is how the Indian economy is doing at present, and what are the major thresholds where the economy would have to focus upon to achieve the targets that has been projected by the present government for 2047?
Well, that's you are many different questions there. But
Yeah.
first of all, how is the economy doing? I think so far it's doing reasonably well. This has been a tough year for everybody, and we were also, as a result of the pandemic, knocked off our normal course. We were badly hit. We've recovered. This year, we seem to be doing a little better than people thought. I mean, everybody thought it would be 6.5. It's possible that it could be more than that. That's what they're saying. So I think so far, and it's certainly true that we're probably, of the major economies, the fastest growing. I mean, everybody else is growing more slowly. So from that point of view, you could say that the immediate situation is not bad. Okay, are we doing enough to reach the goal? It depends on how you define the goal. The goal of reaching developed kind of country status or $30 trillion by 2047, which is what different people have talked about. It's no use judging a target which is 25 years away. You have to really judge what does that imply in terms of the growth rate that you must achieve. And from all accounts, you would need to grow in real terms at around maybe 7.5% per year. And I think you also have to take into account another factor, and that is that, a growth rate of 7.5% over a period of 25 years has to allow for the fact that as the economy grows more, it will slow down. So if you want to average 7.5% over 25 years, you should probably be growing well above 8% now and allow for a gradual slowing down. So if you define the target, the short-term target, next 5, 6 years, as growth of 8% plus, I don't think we are growing at that rate. How much we will grow is not very clear. But my guess would be that we should try to get to 8%. If we get very close to it, that's not bad. But we have to see how that plays out because the coming years have a lot of new challenges from the past compared to the past. And one doesn't know how the government will react to these challenges. We have to see what they do.
So just a quick question. So what measures we should incorporate to bridge this gap? So challenges are there. So what measures we should?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, I think we clearly, some things are pretty obvious. I mean, we need much better infrastructure. I think we have been investing in infrastructure, and that performance in that area so far is quite good. We probably need a much better human capital development, which usually means health and education. We've been trying to do that, but I think by most standards compared to other countries, we're quite far behind. So we need to know what is the government going to do to make up that gap. And maybe after the next election, they'll lay out some detailed outline. I think you need a very strong recovery of investment in the private sector. You have to make up your mind. I mean, are you aiming for a private sector driven development process, or are you aiming for a government driven development process? Government meaning the government doing most of the investment. Now, the government has to do a little more investment because of infrastructure and so on. But most of the investment has to really come from the private sector. And that at the moment is not happening. Why that's not happening? Maybe there's a lot of uncertainty. Maybe people don't know what kind of world they're going to be facing. We probably need a clearer strategy of how are we going to compete in the world, which is now looking quite choppy with changes in policies everywhere. So I think we have to look and see what the government does. My feeling on this is we should remain open, and we should trust our manufacturers that they will be able to compete in the world. Shutting off the economy would be a big mistake. Sometimes I hear people say that, since everybody else is now turning protectionist, maybe we should also do the same thing. I don't agree with that view.
So this is all about the long-term goals of the Indian economy. But when we talk about the short-term goals, we are already facing the period of sustainable development goals. So, sir, the question is, do you think that India would really achieve the targets of the sustainable development goals in the grassroots level, specifically in the rural areas?
Well, that's an important question. There are so many sustainable development goals. Maybe we'll achieve some and not achieve the others. But yes, in the short run, I think to achieve those goals, one is we certainly need to put more investment in the rural areas, particularly on things like health and education. Okay, and I think in other areas which affect rural livelihood, especially in the light of climate change. For example, the impact of water scarcity. I mean, that's a huge problem in India. You're seeing that now. And it's not clear what strategy we are really following to overcome the water scarcity problem. Many of the policies that we have today are not consistent with addressing that problem sensibly.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for your insight in the Indian economy. Thank you so
Good.
much.
Okay. Thanks a lot.